Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Phil Marriott. This is Boys on Film. We are casting our critical eyes over the latest movies. Today it's all about Happening, a film directed by Audrey Diwan, who in the past I think has worked as a journalist and a screenwriter. Sean Vickers, my co-host, is here. How are you, Sean?
I'm great. I'm happening.
You are happening. Hashtag it, happening.
Hashtag I'm happening. So it's a film that is set in the early 60s. I'm going to say 1963. Don't quote me.
I think it is. I think you're right. Yeah. Full point to Sean Vickers on Boys on Film.
It follows the story of Anne, who is looking to finish her studies. She is like, head girl, very bright. Her professors and lecturers can see she has a real future ahead of her. She's very, very smart. She hangs out in this group of three girls. During the first half of the film, she falls pregnant. And at the time, in France and in many countries around the world, abortion was illegal. And really what that meant for her, trying to succeed as a working class woman in the early 60s in France. And the story basically starts from that point.
Yeah, some really interesting notes about the filmmakers as well. The director, obviously a female director, but she's also a member of Collective 50/50, which is a French non-government organisation which promotes equality between men and women in the film industry. So big tick for that alone. And also a female vision, a female perspective, which I think is going to affect men watching, myself included, which I think is quite an interesting thing because I think this story should be bold. It should be very honest. And I think this film is. You sent me a tweet, actually, after you'd seen this, because you saw this just before I did. And you said, it's graphic. And a few other people on Twitter said it's a tough watch. And I was like, I'm all over this, because I love it. And I love that about French cinema. I think French cinema can be more bold and more uncompromising and unapologetic as well. And yeah, I think this is. Yeah.
There were 2 or 3 moments in the film where I was like audible gasp because it is very, very real and unflinching. And I mean, the story is quite... The way Anne, as a character, portrays the fact that she's pregnant in a time when she kind of says, if I become pregnant, it's over. I become a housewife. Yeah. Like, my life is over. There is no other story. And the way that she describes the fact that she's pregnant to, like, her tutor and says, this is the thing that just happens to women, and he immediately clicks. It's really, really powerful, and I think the acting is just superb. Anamaria Vartolomei, who plays Anne, I mean, applause, absolutely standout performance from my perspective. One of the best bits of acting I've seen in a long time.
She's incredible. And can we just talk about her face? What a beautiful face. I mean, such a striking face for film. And also those eyes. Those eyes were so blue. And there are moments where she's slightly to the side and the camera's catching her at an angle where the light is like bouncing off her eyes. And it's almost like she's wearing contact lenses. It's such a vision as well. And also, you're right about the acting, because I think through and through across the supporting cast as well, incredible. And I think you can always tell, I mean, despite obviously being subtitled, and I don't speak French, don't know about you, but you can just tell that these are good performances, even if you can't speak the language. Yeah,
no, flawless. And it won the Venice Lion, and rightly so.
Yeah.
I thought it's one of the... It's a fantastic piece of filmmaking and tells the story at the right pace, at the right depth. It doesn't patronise the viewer. And as I say, at times it's unflinchingly graphic. But all of that creates this package of a movie that I think is really, really outstanding.
It's a really heartbreaking story as well. I mean, the actual subject, but also the way that the director, Audrey Diwan's, captured that isolation and that loneliness. Because you see the lead character and you see her, I don't know, just being completely alone with this really life-changing situation. And nobody around her seems to be supportive. She's got a great group of friends, but they don't seem to connect with her mentally, I don't think, with some of the experiences that she's going through. And they don't obviously know about her situation. But, I mean, the lecturer is really harsh on her. I mean, yes, she's falling behind with her studies, but he doesn't seem supportive in a very personable way. He seems quite kind of, direct and wanting her to just, pick her feet up and just get her act together, and that's not what she needed at that time. But you do see that, and I think the cinematography is a lot to do with that. You see the camera kind of following her around, almost like it's her invisible guardian in a way. You just see the camera like next to her all the time, but it doesn't feel like it's removed from that real situation. It feels like it's almost like fly on the wall in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like there's three things happening. There's the true isolation, because she can't tell anyone. Yeah. Because it's so taboo and so forbidden, and the act she wants to take is illegal and is unspoken of. She can't share that situation with her friends, and her friends are almost describing the act of sex as saying we're virgins, but at some point it will happen, but when it happens, it has to happen with the right person. It can only happen once, and it can't. There's all these things, and she's living this different narrative. There's that scene where Brigitte kind of simulates sex on a pillow. Oh yeah, and she's gyrating up and down. Quite an amazing bit of cinema. And then this idea that she has to hold all of that, and it kind of is translated through her studies. So her studies start to fall behind, and that's what she's known for. She's that person that's known to be academically super bright. So you see these three things, and it's like a closed loop that just keeps moving and moving and getting more and more intense. And the way that that's framed, it's never boring, it's never tiresome, it's never drawn out. You just see this spiral kind of kicking in between those three things, and it gradually getting worse and worse, because as it counts down the weeks of her pregnancy, there's like signposts saying week 6, week 9, week 10, that she has to deal with it on her own. She can't even tell her parents, so she's dealing with something on her own, and that is huge to even comprehend. I think even now it's a very difficult situation for a lot of people. Obviously this film is going to be very triggering for a lot of people. It's a harrowing experience for women, but I think you need to remember also this was set in the 60s. I think even now it's very difficult, the situation. Although obviously the law has changed, I don't think that, makes it easier for people that go through this, for women that go through this. It is a tough watch, but I think it needs to be. I think it's a film that doesn't shy away from some of the details of Anne's experience, and it's not gratuitous. It's not gratuitous for the wrong reasons. It has a purpose. Those scenes are very direct, but I think they need to be. I think they need to almost show the viewer that, this is, a fraction of what women go through in this situation. And I think as a male viewer, I kind of felt that. Obviously, I would never understand what that feels like as a man, as somebody that hasn't gone through that. But I felt the isolation, I felt the fear, I felt the pressure and the horror of that situation. Totally. And, these kind of like quite binary decisions, which at one point within the film they discuss, if you do proceed with this action and you end up in hospital, there's one of two options. It's a miscarriage, or they'll say it's an abortion. And if it's an abortion, you'll go to prison. Yeah. And it's so black and white, and for it's, as you say, from a male perspective, a male viewpoint looking at this film, that's something you can't comprehend. It's damning because you're basically not only, for Anne, she's not only dicing with her career, which is that she's like, I want to do this thing. She's also dicing with the idea that she may end up in prison for undertaking an action which she thinks, which is right for her, is right for her story. And so, I think I wouldn't say it's a tough watch. It's tough at times, but it's an engrossing movie, and it's so well done. Yeah, I mean, the cast's terrific, the cinematography. I've got to mention Lauren, I think it's Lauren Tonji, I'm not sure how you pronounce Lauren's name, but there's so much to love about this film, and it's a really important story as well. I'm not sure if it's something I would watch again, but I'm not sure that's a negative response to this film, because I thought it was incredible. I am going to give it 5 stars. Well, I'm going to give it 5 stars, which is incredibly rare for me. But I had that conversation, which is like, oh, is it a strong 4? And then I thought, no, actually, performance-wise, cinematography, plot, story, it's fantastic and deserves 5 stars. And I think it's a really memorable film as well. It's a film that will stay with me, I'm sure. 100%. So it's called Happening. It's out on digital on the 11th of July. It's out on DVD and Blu-ray on the 18th of July. You don't need to buy it though, because we're offering 3 copies on Blu-ray. So head over to filmmarriott.net. All the links down below on how you can actually enter the competition and stand a chance of winning. And look at us, how lovely are we giving away free Blu-rays? Freebies? I want one, I can't even get one. What give me one, will you? Unbelievable.
She's never happy.
Never happy with me. I'm all, can't believe it. Give them away. Go on, give me one. No, you viewers should definitely have them.
He's so sweet. It's not normally like this. Lovely to see you as always, Sean. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this film review, and also if you've enjoyed Happening, let us know your thoughts down below. Perhaps if you didn't enjoy it but can see the artistic integrity there, because I think there's a lot of that. And I'd love to see what Audrey Diwan does next, and also the protagonist as well, Anamaria Vartolomei. Vartolomei?
Looks like
yeah.
Tomato. Like, yeah, you know, like, I don't know, but yeah, she's a star. She's a star.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there we go. Happening. Thank you everybody for watching. See you on the next one.